Okay, cool. So it looks like we have Rhys and Mike on camera. We have red-green on Mike's side, and green-white for, is it Rhys or Rhys?
I believe it might be Rice.
Rice, okay. I'm gonna go
Jake,
with
if you can
Rice.
get confirmation for us, we'd appreciate it, because we don't want to say your name wrong.
Absolutely. It's Rhys. It's Rhys. Okay.
See, I was completely wrong yet
That's
again.
all right.
So
we have Rhys and Mike here for our very first pre-release core limited match on camera, and I'm actually really excited to see what happens. Play some good Magic.
So they were able to find out a little bit about the decks. We watched Mike build. We know he's red-green, and we know the goal of that deck. It's a ramp deck into the big threats.
Yep.
With Goreclaw at the top, and then Rhys on a green-white, which is known in this archetype for our auras.
Right.
So can expect some solid creatures. It also has the ability to go a little wide.
Exactly.
So we will get to see what happens here. Getting word from our tableside guys.
Yeah, it looks like that one of the key cards that Rhys actually has in his deck is Vivian, I believe, which is one of the
Planeswalkers.
new planes.
Brand new Planeswalker, and I'm pretty sure Jake can find that. If you just start typing in Vivian, there's only like 3 cards for it.
Yeah, and Rhys is actually visiting us from Australia. We have a lot. So what happens here at Other Realms?
Wait.
Yes, he's from down
He
under.
said he's from Australia.
Yes.
I'm not doing Australian accents.
Okay,
today.
no, you cannot. You will not do well.
Welcome to Honolulu.
Welcome to
Rhys.
Aloha, Rhys, and welcome to
Aloha.
stream. And we will see. We have actually a lot of people who come and visit us here at Other Realms, whether they're here in town for a short while or like a little extended stay. A lot of times they need to get their gaming fix in some way, whether it be tabletop, Magic, Dungeons and Dragons, whatever it is, or some comics.
Almost every single pre-release.
Yeah.
We have at least one person here. I left my wife and kids at the
Sure.
beach, and I'm playing in the pre-release.
And they come here, and it's a great place because we're easy to find.
Yeah.
We have a lot of space, and it's one of the better pre-release environments to have. We have food available and lots of people to welcome new players. So if you ever just want to come down, and if you're just visiting Hawaii, feel free to come by. We're at the Nimitz Center, Honolulu, Hawaii.
You're always welcome to come by. Tell your Lyft driver, your Uber driver.
Yep.
I want to go to Other Realms, so pull right up and get you here.
Yeah, it's right on the app. I do that all the time.
We're just off Waikiki, so not far at all.
Very, very close. And it's close to some of the military installations here, too. So a lot of the military guys here, for whatever reason, can come swing by.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had a lot of people here, new faces today, so
check it out. Let's see. Rhys and Mike, I think they're just getting ready to start the round here in a second, exchanging the pleasantries and all.
Sir Fury Furry calling out exactly why I said I thought it was Rice. Elf in Lorwyn, legendary elf. It's a very strong card.
So,
I believe at points it was restricted or banned.
I feel like we have a good flavor win here.
Sure.
So
it is a green-white card
green
in
white.
Lorwyn.
That's what I'm saying. Rhys is the
Do you
green white
think maybe
guy
Rhys
there.
intentionally goes green-white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear us calling you Rhys?
Yes.
Sorry,
we
this
have
is
our local Rhys
We have
here.
our local Rhys,
Aloha.
but this is our player Rhys on camera.
Yes. I heard there was another Rhys here.
So he's visiting us from Australia.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
2 guys.
Oh, we got a couple guys.
Yep, 2
Cool.
guys. I believe they're friends and they're
Great.
Sweet. Well, welcome here, aloha, and hopefully they have a wonderful time here at our pre-release.
All right, so we're still waiting, I think, to...
Yeah, I think they're finishing
See
up the
who's
rest
going.
of the pairings for...
Yep, I'm hearing Ben calling out table numbers out there. So as soon as they give them the go-ahead to play, it looks like they're both shuffled. We'll just have to see about mulligans.
Yep.
And of course, hopefully no mulligans.
Yeah.
Nobody likes starting their first game at the pre-release on a mulligan.
Oh, well, thank you for the bits, Sir Furry Furry. We really do appreciate you supporting the
Thank
stream.
you very much. And I'm sure Rhys appreciates that too.
Yeah.
Of course. Always.
He threw him out to you, Rhys.
Steven threw some biddies.
He basically threw him right at
yeah?
you.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Called you out and everything.
Oh yeah, what's up, Steven? I'm glad you can watch.
Now, I'm also going to think maybe that was for Rhys, our player.
I think it's for both.
Because Sir Fury Furry, I know, has been down under.
He loves Down Under. Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's for both.
Sweet. So let's take a look at Vivian of the Arkbow here. How do you feel about this Planeswalker?
The reason they made her, Garrick is in a dark place right now.
Right, story-wise.
Story-wise.
Yeah.
So they can't bring him back as mono green.
Right, so that's their new Planeswalker friend.
And story-wise, Nissa betrayed the oath.
Oh, is that where we are now?
That's where we
I
got
haven't
Broken Bond,
Oh, no kidding.
and she has left the Gatewatch.
I am one full story arc behind. I'm not gonna lie.
I knew something Alex did not know. Yeah.
I do not know what the current state of our planes are after Dominaria.
So they were looking for a good, solid mono green planeswalker,
Yep.
and none of the ones they have fit the story. So we are introduced to Vivian of the Arkbow. Planeswalker, her story is that her home plane was destroyed by Nicol Bolas.
Okay. Nicol Bolas tends to do that to people.
He's not a nice guy.
Yeah.
And so her bow has the ability to fire arrows which carry the spirit of animals from her home plane.
That's sweet.
Yeah, not a bad flavor.
I feel like one of our old friends Zach, this would be right up his like flavor alley.
Vivian came here and she said to all the spirit animals, "You're coming with me."
That's what I'm saying, right?
I got you.
I think her abilities are pretty sweet. It gives you a fight for her -3. Her +2 gives 2/1/1 counters, which is fine.
Yeah.
The big thing being that her loyalty goes from 5 to 7 instantly, which is really good.
Third turn that she's out, if you're able to protect her,
Yep.
you can go ultimate and overrun, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get
It's a stronger overrun,
classic overrun.
which
I actually
coincidentally used to be Garrick's ultimate.
That's true. I actually think you probably just use the +2 and -3s. Because
Yeah.
you just get your
Clear
creatures
the board.
bigger, and then you just have them fight the other guys.
Yep.
Looks like they are shaking hands to start, and we are underway for our very first match of Core 19.
I think Vivian might go well with the green-white Watley.
Yeah. I actually think the green-white Watley is very underrated right now. The one from Rivals Over
Yep.
Ixalan. That's a really good card. It has a
Yep.
good... it has actually a very good...
She's in my Dino deck.
Is she? That's awesome. So we're rolling to see who goes first.
Looks like 5 for Rhys,
Oh,
5
looks like
for
they're
Mike.
doing again.
Looks like a reroll.
Yep.
6
Good
for
old
Rhys.
6, both of which are under the average.
Well, he
Oh.
is from down under.
That's true. Oh, this is why
couldn't resist
this is why I love you, dude.
Alright, so looked like Rhys won that, I believe.
Yep. Okay, so here's something I'm going to have to figure out over the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
Play or draw, Andy.
New format,
Yep.
play.
Yeah, I'm with you on that right now. I think I'm going to start play and see how it goes.
Yep. Plus, when you have 43 cards, you want
That's right.
you want to start first.
Yeah, that's right. If I'm milling, I'm on the draw, but oh my.
That's a bad start for Rhys.
Okay, so it looks like Rhys has to go down to 6. And I think Mike is good where he's at. Yeah, seems like it. So it looks like Mike has 4 lands, 2 of each color, Gift of Paradise, the ramp, and the Lightning Hands.
Alright, so that's 4 lands with a ramp. Seems like a good keep. He's got the red mana to be able to do the lightning rare. So, should be good. Rhys, unfortunately on the mulligan, has to keep a 1-land hand. He's got a Daggerback Basilisk, which is a Death Touch creature, which would be nice. He's got the Gallant Cavalry, which we were talking about when we were looking at Mike's pool.
Yep.
Talons of Wirewood, which was +1/+1 trample, and Aura, which we talked about green-white. We're going to expect to see a few auras out of them. Alright, looks like players are confirming that they're keeping their hands.
Yep.
Mike on the play.
Leads with the mountain. Mike has his ramp effects and a lightning dragon, I think.
Rhys drew a land
Or
off
lightning
top.
mare, rather. Okay.
So he scried, I believe, I don't know if he put it back or
Yep.
if he puts it on, but he did find a land and he has a druid, so he'll
Druid.
have a second turn.
yeah,
mana
he'll
reducer.
be able to get up there.
So Mike showing
Nice.
Rhys the card because
Yep.
they're new to everybody.
Absolutely. I usually have to take a look at my opponents, everything they're doing to start.
So that is his 3/1 lightning mare.
Yep. Can't be countered, can't be blocked by blue creatures, and has fire breathing.
So in this game, 3/1 fire breathing.
3/1 fire breathing, yep. Gets blocked by 1/3 though, turns out.
It does, and somebody has a 1/3.
Yep, drew the Kyle.
Again, Rhys also showing the card.
Yep.
So that Mike will see what it is. So. And that's good sportsmanship, brand new set.
Sure.
You know, everybody wants to know what the cards are doing. So.
You know, when I first started playing Magic again, that's how I learned from you, is you just played all your cards towards me.
For a long time, I didn't have a group to play with, so I had to, every time I wanted to play, I had to teach somebody.
Oh, okay.
So I got used to playing with my cards upside down to me, so that my
Right.
opponent could read them.
So Mike has an interesting choice. He can either Monolith or Gift of Paradise here, both of which ramp him. We'll see which one he chooses. I think he wants
Goes
the
with the
Monolith.
Monolith.
Okay. Which does give him access to one additional mana this turn.
It also
because he can use
protects
it.
him from losing a forest,
Right.
because right now he only had the 1 forest and 2 red.
Sure.
All right, there we see Vivian.
Yeah, that's a... If he can get to that card, he's in pretty decent shape. He's a little stuck on lands here. He missed his 3rd land drop, it looks like.
He did miss the land. He drew the Planeswalker. At this
Yep.
point, you kind of want to hit your lands instead.
Yep.
The Daggerback Basilisk costs 3, I believe. Though.
Yep. It's good that he can continue to put up threats to keep basically Mike's attention until Vivian shows up.
Yep. Being able to play something that kills Mike's creature and clogs up the board is a valid threat.
Yep, and
Very
more importantly, Mike being on red, obviously a sort of aggressive deck. That's very. It's good to have roadblocks, as it were. Looks like Mike picks up another land. This is actually not
Second
awful for
forest.
him. I think he
No.
should be able to cast almost everything he wants going forward, but now he has to start picking up some of the payoffs for all this ramp.
So he can play 2 3-mana spells this turn.
Yep.
He leads with the gift, and then he can tap the land that the gift enchants for another 3 mana.
I think he can play the Tomb to help him draw cards with all that extra mana. It's a good mana sink.
That's what I'm seeing. Gift into the tome.
Yep, exactly.
Let's see if he sees it.
And it's also interesting to see if he wants to attack right now with his lightning into the Death Touch Basilisk.
Now, if he does, do you think he would do that before or after he casts spells?
I think he would do it before, so I don't think he, like with the Tomb on the field, I don't think he attacks.
Okay, so I think Mike is going to review this later.
Yeah, and think that maybe he should have Gift of Paradise first.
Gift of Paradise first would have allowed him to cast both spells.
Yep. It's alright, it looks like he decides to not attack here,
Yeah.
respecting the Death Touch Basilisk. If Rhys actually misses another land drop here, it's a little rough, and I think he might have.
Looks like he drew Plummet.
Yeah, so that's 2 land drops he's missed. Is that
Naturalize.
taking out the Monolith.
Yep. Hits
All
the
right.
mana source.
Okay.
If I'm hurting on mana, you are too.
Yep.
That's what that is.
Looks like he does want to come in for a 2 and offer the trade to Mike, and Mike considers it here for a second.
Now this is tempting. Rhys left back a 1/3 on defense, but that's his 3rd mana source.
Yeah, and Mike decides to take the damage from the last attack, thinking 2's not that much. It's fair.
I would be very tempted to try and get that 1/3 druid off the table.
Yeah.
Because it's a 3/1 base stats, but he can pump it up to a 5/1 with the mana he has available right now.
That's true. And in his kind of Bernie deck, every extra bit of point of damage is important.
So, whereas I would have liked the Gift of Paradise last turn, this turn I would like attacking.
The other option Mike can take is to Gift of Paradise draw a card with the Tomb.
Okay, so he is playing the Gift.
Yep, because he gains life for playing
Gains
the Gift.
3 life.
So his life total isn't being pressured. And right now he's looking for his payoffs at the top. So
Right.
drawing a card here might not be the worst thing. But we'll see whether or not he wants to attack. Because he has Gift of Paradise on the forest, he's able to pump the line.
So we
up.
saw him reach for the tome.
Yeah. I think he's thinking whether he wants to, like you talk about, pressure the life total. He
Well,
decides not to. Okay.
The tome he can do at instant speed.
Correct.
So by not doing it on his turn, he's representing tricks and instants in his hand.
Yep.
Or pump on the lightning mirror. Rhys found his 4th land, so he's getting closer to Vivian.
Yep.
And he
And
played Gallant Cavalry.
I believe he gets a 2/2 Night token along with this.
Yep. Enters the battlefield, it's a 2/2 Vigilance, and he
Yep.
gets a 2/2 Night token.
So this is kind of like a pseudo Call to Cavalry from Dominaria. It's a little better because if you are able to bounce Gallant Cavalry for some reason or another, you can get the
Recast it
you
and
can
get
recast
the
it
trigger
and get the
again.
trigger again. Yeah. But otherwise, it's just a solid value card. You get 2/2 bodies with Vigilance for 4, totally acceptable rate, and we like that in green-white decks because it helps you go wider.
So there
Looks
goes
like
Mike
end of
and the
turn. He
turn.
wants to draw a card.
So Rhys getting wide very quickly, even though he did miss the land drop.
Yep.
He was able to recover.
Looks like Mike still feels like he doesn't want to trade his lightning mirror at all. Not sure what he picked up there, but we'll
Yeah, I
see.
missed it too.
So I have Mike on 6.
Vivian's Invocation, and he has mana to cast Vivian's Invocation, which will top 7 cards. If he hits a creature,
Is Vivian 6 or 7?
Vivian is 6. Her
Vivian is
Invocation
6.
is 7.
So I think he's 3, 6. Yeah, he has enough.
Well, Mike has enough for
Yeah.
the Invocation,
So
which
we'll-
would be able to deal damage to the Death Toucher
Yeah.
without.
So he's
getting
going to
killed.
try it. We'll see whether or not his creature count number will come to
He
haunt
was
him
a bit lower
or
than
hit
both
him.
of us would have liked.
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Well, how many cards does he get? 7.
He's drawn 7.
He gets to see 7.
There's 3, 4, 7, 11 plus 5 in hand, so 16 cards out of the 40 card deck. There's 24 cards left.
Yep.
So he's looking at almost a third of it.
Yep. And he can choose whichever one he wants.
Now he looks at.
He looks at. He doesn't reveal.
He does not reveal except for the one that he chooses to put into the
Correct.
battlefield.
Yes. So let's see what
Which
he gets.
can be important.
Yes.
A lot of players, when they're looking at top cards, tend to reveal them when they don't need to. Now he left one on the battlefield. I think he missed. Oh, lots of shocks. Okay, there's a 4/3. He had the ogre.
I think that's his. Oh yeah, that's
Forest.
And a forest. Yeah.
So the ogre has the ability to make a creature unblockable.
Right. What's its base power and toughness?
3/3.
3/3 ogre.
That's the classic Magic the Gathering ogres.
Yep.
All tend to be 3/3s.
Uh,
Siegebreaker Giant.
Siegebreaker
Sorry, not an
Giant,
ogre.
not Siegebreaker.
And it's a
ogre.
6/3. Brand new set.
It's alright.
We're still figuring all this out, so probably go with the 6/3.
6/3 Trampler. And target creature can't block this turn. That's
And
relevant.
he used it to kill off the Death Touch.
Yep.
Very good choice, and it trades well with all the 2/2 knights.
And the trample is relevant.
Yep.
Also, it is worth mentioning that if he does have an attack where Rhys decides that he wants to double block, Mike can use that shock that we saw earlier to take out one of the blockers and maybe have a favorable trade.
Yep. Now, he's one land away from making it so if Rhys is able to block with any 2 creatures against that giant, it's enough to kill it.
Yes,
Mike is 1 mana away from making it so only one of those 3 creatures can block.
correct.
Okay, so it looks like Rhys took the trade to get rid of the Lightning Mare.
Okay. So the risk here is Mike, again, only has 1 creature, so if Rhys finds something that can deal with it efficiently, it's troublesome for Mike. However, if he is able to protect it, that's a ton of damage that'll be pounding through.
Rhys 1 land away, I believe, from casting Vivian.
Yep, he's
So
a little
close.
short. And this actually makes it so it's unfavorable.
No, I'm sorry. Vivian costs 5, so he can actually cast her this turn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry about that. I thought no.
Different Vivian. This is
I'm
this is
looking
the
at the-
Planeswalker Vivian. This is
That's the intro. This is the
actual
1+5.
Vivian. Okay.
Vivian Reed.
So
REID
Vivian
what I
Reed
need to
is the
see.
card that Rhys has. Not Vivian of the Archwell. So there's
There were
2.
3 Vivian cards, Jake.
Sorry about that. So this time
There we
you
go.
beat him to it.
Well, I may have unintentionally led him astray.
Okay,
so this
so-
is the Planeswalker that he has in hand.
He's able to play Vivian, and it lets him kind of look through. It's cantrip through his deck to look for creatures.
Looks like he opted to play another Gallant Cavalry, though.
Yep.
And now we'll just leave that Vivian up there because that's probably going to be the play next turn.
Very likely, yeah. So it has an interesting emblem. The top 4 lets you refill your hand with creatures, which is really great, and then it deals with a lot of artifact creatures. Oh, anything with flying, okay. Oh no, target artifact or creature with flying. Cool.
Yeah. So it's a naturalized / plummet.
Yeah. So Mike makes it so one of his creatures can't block with his giant.
I'm guessing the token. Because
Or the knight.
if I'm going to kill 2 of your creatures, I
Yeah.
don't want to kill a token.
That's true. So Mike decides to come in.
Okay, so he actually chose one of the knights, I believe.
Interesting. Mike decides to shock the token? So
it does
he
have trample.
So he tramples for 6?
Yep. So just trying to push the extra damage through.
Yeah.
Alright. Man, how many Gallant Cavalries did Rhys get?
I mean, if I have Gallant Cavalry, I'm playing it. Because
Yeah.
it's 2 bodies for 4. It's
That's 6 bodies he's put out there.
Yep.
When he casts this thing.
Yep, and it actually costs Mike a shock, which will be relevant later,
Yeah.
because if he doesn't use that shock and just trades regularly, that's like half a card for a card.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
So we have Vivian on board. Feels like a plus because there's no... Well, he could destroy the tome,
Yeah.
but that would leave Vivian very vulnerable. There's a big trampler on the other side that can probably push through 2 damage.
Yep.
Looks like he plussed up. He's looking at top 4. Again, he doesn't have to reveal any of them.
That's right. Creature or land. It's kind of like a better Oath of Nissa.
Okay, looks like take vengeance. There's
the
the
mare,
Vine Mare,
the
Vine
Hex
Mare,
Mare,
and
yeah.
a Gift of Paradise. So only one eligible.
He decides
or
to
2.
take
He
the
took
land.
the land.
Yep. He's been starved on land for a while.
He has.
So
He's still stuck on only 1 white.
yeah. But getting that 5th land will be important because for some reason, if the Druid of the Cowl dies, he can actually cast a lot of things in his hand.
Yep. Mike taking a look at the Planeswalker. First time anybody's played that.
Sure.
So we could tell you what the intro Planeswalker does, Mike. But probably best to look at that one in person.
So it looks like Mike wants to draw a card here.
And that's
We'll see what
the second card he's drawn off that. So that's
Yep. I think that card is just
Yeah.
fine if you have like a lot of mana in like Mike's deck. It's a thing that'll.
It's a sink.
Yep.
Looks like
Is that Banefire?
Good answer for Vivian.
Good answer for a lot of stuff.
Now Banefire, can you split that damage or is it just to 1 target?
I'm not exactly sure. I think you can do it to 1 target.
Just to 1 target. If X is 5 or more, though, it's uncounterable. It
So
can't be prevented.
here's a line of play Mike might want to consider because right now he has 3, 6, 7, 8 mana, so he can Banefire for 7. If somehow he can get 7 damage through, like for example, if this turn he was able to save the shock from last turn and hit with the golem, and let's say Rhys for some reason doesn't want to trade off his 2 knights,
Right.
then the turn after Mike can Banefire him to death.
Banefire,
Banefire shock.
one of those that it's nice if you cast it early, but the longer you wait, the better it gets.
Yes. And we know that Mike bottomed shocks as well from his previous kind of like scry through his deck.
That looks like a 4/4 dragon with haste.
Yep. This is relevant because it comes through the air. So Mike actually has a decision to make whether or not he's going to start going for Rhys's face or take out Vivian. And I actually think maybe face might be the right way to go here.
Vivian's at 6. She needs 2 more pluses to get to the emblem.
So it looks like he decides to go for Vivian. What is Vivian's emblem
Vivian's
do?
-3 would have killed the dragon.
Okay.
So by going at Vivian, he protects the dragon.
Sure.
Because if he had just attacked Vivian, well, he could have just attacked her with the dragon, and that would have protected her.
Yeah.
Protected the dragon. But Planeswalkers, the longer they're on board, the worse it gets. So that's how I see them.
Yep.
The Plummet feeling really good.
Yeah, I think both players mainboarded Plummet.
Yeah. I can't get a good look at that new card he just drew. It's the second one in hand right now, behind the Plummet. Oh, the elephant. It's a Loxodon.
Is it 3/7? Is
Trying
it
to
big
find
butt?
It. Oh, it's an elephant. All
Yeah.
elephants have big butts.
As the
Loxodon Linebreaker with a small butt.
Oh,
3/2.
small butt. 3/2. Okay.
It's a tiny elephant.
Tiny elephant, baby elephant.
All the other elephants laugh at it because they try to grab the tail. You know how they walk.
Yeah.
And it's so tiny.
So he's like Dumbo. Poor little guy.
I heard they're doing a live action Dumbo.
Are they?
I don't know. I hope they do.
Ooh, they're doing live
doing
action
live
like
action
everything. Yeah, I saw that.
So, who knows? They got that Marvel money rolling.
That's true. Yo, that volcanic dragon though, living
For now.
for a second. It looks like he's
He
about
does
to
still
get
have the Druid
plummeted.
untapped.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 mana. Mike with the Naturalize is not doing anything. Titanic Growth would have been
Yeah.
getting some value.
Yep. Because right now he has access to 9 mana, so you can Banefire for 8. But without the dragon threat, it makes things very, very difficult to get through on the ground.
So, the Siegebreaker Giant does have the can't block ability.
Yeah, but because Rhys has so many blockers, like, you can't actually effectively take out his blocking army.
Well, he can get rid of 2 cards right now.
Yep. But the
it
problem
would cost him the giant. Though.
Yeah, but by costing him the giant makes it so that Mike has no threats on the floor anymore.
Yep.
And he's kind of like drawing off the top, which is very rough.
Losing that dragon hurt a lot.
Yeah. So like,
we are still in the game though for a game-ending Banefire.
Yeah, I mean he's
needs drawing. He's got other burn spells.
He trampled over, so he has access to 9. He has to find 3 more mana, or he has to find shocks. But we know he scryed 2 shocks to the bottom from the Vivians, from the top 7.
Oh,
or from the invocation thing.
One.
Oh, it was only 1. Okay,
I believe I only saw 1 shock there.
And
so that's
so
2 shocks down. Though.
2 shocks down. So there's only 1 left in the top.
He's going for the Banefire.
He just went for it for 9?
8.
Oh, 8. Okay.
I like holding Banefire until I know it's lethal.
Yeah.
But
because now the problem is if Rhys has any of the life gain cards in white, Mike's out of range.
There's one of them right there.
Yeah.
Now the nice thing about putting a player down to 4, they are going to start playing their game differently.
Sure. They have a little more
life pressure. They know they're under pressure. He's already seen 1 shock.
Yeah.
So Mike has a card in hand and he has a card draw on the table.
Yep.
So he's drawing 2 cards next turn. You're at 4. He did not play the lifelinker.
Yep. The problem too is that Mike without so the thing is when you're playing a spell heavy creature light deck which requires you to burn someone to death at the end, what happens is very quickly the board can get out of control, and I know it looks kind of weird, but Rhys might actually be the aggro player here in the next 2 turns. Yeah, like basically he's going to start crashing in for almost 10 damage next turn, and so Mike is on a 2-turn clock here.
Yep. Now that Mike does not have that game ender.
Yeah, and he also the big problem is that he gave up the 2 creatures to do so.
Yeah.
And now with the gates open, Rhys can just swing on through.
Now the key part being Rhys had a plummet.
Yep.
Mike very wisely took out Vivian, but not knowing he had a plummet to get rid of that dragon hurt a lot.
Yep.
I am surprised that Rhys did not play the life gainer. It's a 1-3 versus a 3-2, but
he might be thinking that there's a clock that he can put on Mike here, because by putting out the actual elephant, he might be representing lethal on board.
Yeah, well,
because Mike's at 10, so 2, 4,
that's 3, 6. He's
7.
got 9 on board.
Yeah, and he has the enchantment right on the knight.
That makes it 9.
Yeah,
because it's 8 without the enchantment.
So he naturalized the enchantment,
but the enchantment can come back to his hand from the graveyard.
So let's see what Mike wants to do with his other card.
He has a creature he can play that will block.
He's playing Catalyst Elemental. He's drawing a card first.
Which is good. See what your options are before you play.
Whoa, he actually picked up Goreclaw. Unfortunately, he tapped out all his green mana.
Oh no.
But it's okay. He wouldn't have enough to actually play it anyway.
Yeah, it's 4 mana. He's only got 3 left.
Yeah.
He can cast that Catalyst.
Yeah, he probably needs to cast it just to jump.
Oh, he did have 4 mountains.
Yeah.
Alright. This is one of the nice things about getting on camera and streaming. I know when I played you in 93, 94, the only games that I've played on stream, which I lost all 3, I'm not bitter about it.
By the way, that match is online. It's one of our most viewed matches on our YouTube channel.
You just grinding your foot into me right now.
Hey, we're talking about learning from stream, Andy.
I noticed several things that I could do better and ways I could have changed my play.
Yeah, different lines. You learn. I've watched every one of our VODs just recently, and every time I see something like, man, I could have done that way better.
So, I mean, this is just our opinions.
Yeah.
We're watching the game unfold along with
This is how
everybody
you
at
learn
home.
how to play Magic, actually.
And being able to go back and watch what you did. I retired from the military last year, and after every operation, we do what's called an AAR, an after-action review, where we just go over everything that we did, and we learn and we apply that stuff towards the next game.
You debrief, you reflect, and you improve.
Yeah.
That's how it
So
works.
being able to watch your game, Mike, after this, you will learn never play a Banefire unless it's enough to kill the guy.
Yeah, there are lines of play Mike could have taken, but these are things that you learn as you play.
All right, so the deck is not being friendly to Mike right now. Rhys has that clock
9, 10,
ticking.
11. So if he had waited, Banefire would be cast for 10 here instead of 8, so he would have been at 2. Still would have been enough, but then the extra shock if he didn't shock earlier.
The attack with the giant felt dangerous.
Yeah.
Again, we have perfect knowledge.
The big thing is that a lot of times when you play a Bernie kind of spell deck, it's not like a trap, but the desire to get your opponent from
Just finish
3
it
to
quickly.
1
Yeah.
is like it grows exponentially. As they get closer to the life total of 0, you're like, I'm so close. One more thing and he's just dead for sure. That sort of thing. And a lot of times that can be a problem, right?
But I think you are right. Unless Mike can activate that tome and get something good.
And that's another
Looks like a
mountain.
land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like
Rhys has him on board.
On board, yep.
So he was able to turn around. Like I said, we knew Rhys's hand. We knew about the plummet.
Sure.
Without that plummet, that dragon could have gotten
Yep.
the Banefire. Well, yeah. Without the plummet, it was a different game.
Yep.
But that was a very well timed plummet by Rhys. He saved it until the right moment and used it, and that's going to get him the game.
Yeah, looks like it, and I think we just have a pump spell just for good measure, maybe.
Inspire Charge?
Yeah, Inspire Charge. +2/+1 for 4.
Yep.
Add instant
Very
speed.
well played, Rhys.
Yep.
Mike, we're going to talk.
No, I'm sure,
that was a very good game by both of you.
I will say
joke.
that Mike, I do believe this whole entire game read all his cards.
I believe that's why he's playing white bordered land, so he can read the text box.
Right. It's clearer.
Because when it's just a symbol, it's hard to read.
So going into game 2,
We don't know sideboards.
we don't know sideboards. I get the feeling that Mike might take out the plummet because he had it in his hand for quite a while.
We don't know Rhys's cards. We
Correct.
do know Mike's
We know
full
Mike has
card list.
We knew that Mike had a dragon. Rhys saw that, so he'll keep the plummet in. But Mike might take the plummet out because he didn't
Bring
see
in
any
Titanic
or
Rose.
something. Yeah,
I would-
something that does more than plummet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't see any flyers at all.
Nope.
He did see a Planeswalker.
Yep.
Spit Flame, I believe, only does to creatures, though.
Which is okay. So the other option that Mike might want to go back and look at next time is he also took out Vivian, right? If we didn't take out Vivian and instead directed that 10 damage at Rhys's face, there's a chance that he would have been within range of Banefire at any given time, right?
That would have been a difficult attack for me to make.
Yeah.
Because if I leave Vivian alone, I know I'm losing my dragon next turn.
But, so for me, I think that's
But
okay.
I get 4 damage
You
into
get
the
4
player.
damage, yeah.
And the goal of the game is to kill the player, not the Planeswalker.
Yeah, like, so, it's in the same way that for Red-Black in Standard right now, if someone plays a Karn against you, 9 times out of 10, if you're playing any other deck, you have to kill Karn. Because if you don't kill Karn, it's going to just get out of control and you have nothing you can do.
Right.
But in Red-Black, because you know you're on some sort of timer,
Karn is too slow.
Karn doesn't do anything but draw you a card, and if I've already killed you before you've drawn the card you need to take me out, that's more important. And it's a really hard decision to make because
You have to see that play, and you
Correct.
have to see the next several
You have to
plays
see the next
and
2.
know that you'll be able to get through them.
Correct. Like, you have to trust that your deck can get you where
Right.
you're going to be. And otherwise, I agree with you completely. Like, when you normally play and you see a big Planeswalker, get rid of it. Because, for example, if you don't deal with Teferi literally the turn or 2 it comes out, forget about it. You're going to get buried.
But what you're saying, if they play a Planeswalker, but you already have your clock going, and your clock kills them before the Planeswalker's effect hurts you.
Right.
Go
So you
stick
take
with the clock.
you basically take a double check, because what happens is you had a game plan where you're like, I'm going to take this much damage from him, then this much damage from him, and hopefully he'll be under 10, and then I
Right.
can either Banefire him or shock him to death. And if that's my current game plan, and it looks like we're trudging towards that game plan systematically, and it's still going the way it's supposed to, what'll happen is your opponent plays a Planeswalker, and all of a sudden your game plan it looks like something changes in the field. You have to double check to see if it really changes anything, because
Right.
if Teferi comes down, yes, it changes something. But if Vivian comes down and she's looking for cards to answer for you, maybe you're already ahead enough that you can just get to that last piece.
All right.
That sort of thing. But it's not a clear-cut thing. It's something you get with experience, and
Yeah.
you have to very, very, very much look at what's coming up.
And this is a brand new set.
Yep, totally. And that's
When
another
I look
layer
at
of
a Planeswalker
confusion.
that says, destroy my creature, my
Yeah.
best creature,
Yep.
it's hard not to
It's
want to
very
kill it.
hard not to want to kill it, yep. So
But that
let's-
was definitely the turning point.
Yeah. Because basically Mike's clock ran out of gas, which
Yeah.
a lot of times happens in red spell decks.
Yep. I'm looking at Mike's hand. I see 2 lands
I see a Spit
and a
Flame.
Manolith. Looking at Rhys's hand, it's hard to tell for me.
Yep, we'll see in a sec.
Yeah.
Maybe Jake can get
Looks
us
like
some
Mike is deciding to keep the hand.
Yep. We'll see. Alright, looks like we
Okay,
got
we're
a
getting look.
fresh
4
7.
lands, 1 plains,
Druid of the Cowl,
Leonin Vanguard,
and the Selfless
and
Champion.
yeah.
Lena? Is that Lena?
Lena Selfless Champion.
Lena is an amazing card.
In a go wide deck.
Yeah,
she's
that's one of the
your
cards
best
I
ones.
looked at on the spoiler and was like, that card is great for limited.
Oh yeah.
I believe...
Ability to sacrifice to make all your creatures indestructible.
Yeah, and when she enters the battlefield, she creates a little army of 1/1s based on total non-token creatures you control, and then all of those can sack to make her bigger,
Yep.
which is sweet.
Well, they don't sack to make her bigger.
Oh,
She enters the battlefield. For each non-token creature, you get a 1/1 soldier,
gotcha.
and then you can
Oh, you
sacrifice
sack her
to
to
make
protect-
all your creatures indestructible.
Protect the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
I like that. Alright, looks like turn 1 we do have a play. What is this here? Is this a cat of some sort? What is that?
Looks like one of it.
1/1.
That's a Leonin Vanguard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures, it gets +1/+1, and you gain a life.
Wow, okay, so this go
It's a
wide
1/1.
strategy seems to be where Rhys is living, which is great.
And I didn't see any sideboarding, so
Yep.
this looks like a main deck from Rhys.
I think Mike sideboarded one card
Mike
out.
swapped 1. Rhys, I
Yeah.
didn't see do anything.
Okay.
So once Rhys gets wide, he's offsetting all that damage that Mike's trying to rack up.
So Mike also, after game 1, has to consider that he saw life gain cards in Rhys's deck, which wasn't a thing before.
Yep. Moonlight Shadow, gotta catch them all.
Yeah, it looks like Mike is trying to catch all the magic cards with the Pokemon sleeves.
I like to do that sometimes. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sleeves are different sizes, so you
They
can't
are.
really
They're
do it.
tiny.
But Pokemon works.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a Goblin. I'm not sure what the last part of the name is, but it taps to give a creature haste.
Okay. I like actually all those cards in the set that give creatures haste.
Yeah.
Because out of nowhere you've got damage just flowing in, and
It
if the other player can't deal with it, it's a problem. He plays Manolith, which is a little.
Goblin Motivator.
Yep. Oh, it looks like he's
Oaken form
he's gonna make his Leonin.
into a 4/4.
Is it a 4/4? Leonin Vanguard into a 4/4. Ooh. That is a spicy cat.
I'm gonna vent a little bit here.
Sure.
One of the things that bugs me about Oaken form,
Yep.
they just released a global Planeswalker series,
They did.
which
Jiang
all
Yu,
new cards,
Yeah.
very cool concept. There is an identical card to Oaken form in there,
Functionally the same.
functionally identical.
Okay.
But it has the global series name.
Yeah, whatever
And
it is.
I think that would have been a very flavorful inclusion
Oh, and the set.
in M19 over Oaken form.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a little personal.
That's I'm with
I
you
have
on
the
that.
form. I'm gonna get it out there.
Yeah.
So,
So let's see what Mike wants to play.
4
He
mana.
has 4 mana available. He's gonna plump.
naturalize
Oh, naturalize. That's right.
to get rid of Oaken form.
Yep.
So return it down to a reasonable 1/1.
Yeah.
And he still has 2 mana. Thinking about shocking.
Thinking about the shock. He's a little sad his shock won't take out the druid, which is a 1/3.
He can actually do motivator and shock.
Yeah, because he has the monolith as well.
It's a Havoc Devil, Goreclaw, and the last card, maybe a Seismic. Did he have the Seismic card in his?
Yeah, so he looks like he
Seismic
plays the
Rift.
motivator, and he's going to leave up the mana for shock if needed.
Or Tectonic Rift. His last card, I believe.
Ah, gotcha. Oh no, he decides he wants to.
He's gonna shock?
phase. No,
Ooh.
he's going to hold up on it.
We know Rhys is on enchantments.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if Mike
he might
has him
want
on more than just a
yeah.
couple, but yeah.
He might want to shock in response to an enchantment
Yeah.
and try to 2-for-1 Rhys.
General rule of thumb for me: if I have an instant,
Yeah.
I read the word instant as
Just
do not
wait,
play this
yeah.
on your turn.
Wait.
Play it when you absolutely have to play it.
Yep. Only times you want to do it are like against blue decks when they're tapped out.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Or if I'm trying to walk you into another spell.
Exactly.
Lava Axe.
Yep.
Lava Axe has mixed critics.
I
Some
mean,
people love it, some people hate it.
part of the problem is you lose a card. Is that
Yep.
correct? However, if you can hard cast it in Mike's deck, which is not unreasonable with all the ramp he has. Is
Well,
that Goreclaw?
It's a Goreclaw
Oh
on
no,
turn
Lava
3.
Axe for 5.
Or turn 4. No, Lava Axe is 5 mana. I think you're thinking of Lightning Axe.
I'm thinking Lightning Axe.
Lava Axe, the criticism is that it's just a 5 mana, 5 damage.
Yeah,
and
and it
only
costs 5.
targets the player.
And it's sorcery speed.
Yeah. But thank you for the Lightning Axe.
Yep.
But Lava Axe, when it was first printed, a lot of people hated it. It just felt
Just
like a bad burn
non-efficient,
spell.
yeah, non-efficient
You can't.
burn spell.
It doesn't affect the board at all.
Yeah. Because, for example, an efficient burn spell would be Lightning Bolt, which is 3 damage
Yeah.
for 1 at instant speed, so 5 damage for 5 is slow.
But in a limited format,
It's still reach.
it's a quarter of your opponent's life.
Yeah, it's reach for a limited format.
Alright, so that's a Gallon Cavalry again, bringing out another buddy. We know he has at least 3 of those in the deck.
Yep, and we know it looks like he's setting himself up for a good turn with Lena, so that he can get a few more 1/1s. So
Yeah.
the more that he can develop his board now, the better the payoff will be when he plays Lena.
Yep. It's for each non-token creature, so she counts herself. So if he plays it next turn without committing
4
more to the board,
1/1s.
4 more 1/1s.
Yeah, and
And then her sacrifice ability is each creature with power less than hers becomes indestructible.
which is quite a bit. That's actually
That's the full board right now.
That's everybody on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he lost one creature. Or did he? Looks like we're still deciding.
Haven't decided yet. So, Mike.
Or that might have been Ben wanting to read the card.
Gotcha.
Because these are new cards for our judges too. So
So
brand
let's
new
see what
cards.
Mike wants to do here.
For those of you watching from home, we're coming to you live from Other Realms. This is our Core Set 2019 pre-release.
Pre-release.
And we're watching Mike, one of our locals, playing against Rhys, one of our visitors from Australia,
Absolutely.
who just came in for the pre-release.
It looks like he decides to play Havoc Devils 4/3 trample. It is possible for him to give it haste. And it looks like he does.
Yep. And if Goreclaw attacks, both creatures will get +1/+1.
Yep. So I think Mike is
So
just
they'll
checking
both be
that right now.
5/4s.
It's like, let's see what happens. And yep, he's going to turn him sideways. We got a couple 5/4s coming in.
He still
Both-
has shock in hand.
which is important. The monolith is up, so he has the mana for it.
Because right now, Rhys has the ability to kill Goreclaw if he blocks with both of his 2/2s.
Right, but if Mike is able to get off a shock and get a favorable trade with him, this is actually not awful for Mike because that puts him within a couple of decent burn spell ranges. If he doesn't block, that's 10 damage, taking Rhys to 7.
Now, Mike had to tap both mountains for the Havoc Demon.
Yeah.
I like that because it doesn't show any red mana up other than the Manolith, which if you don't notice the Manolith,
Yeah.
if you're just looking at his lands, you don't see it.
So it looks like Mike shocks one of Rhys's creatures.
I'm guessing Rhys threw the Leonin in front of Goreclaw,
Okay.
and then Mike shocked it. He's being very liberal with his shocks.
What's the life total there? Because Mike came in for 10. Is that correct? Oh, Goreclaw doesn't trigger its other creatures. Okay.
Okay.
That makes more sense. That's 9, sure.
When Goreclaw attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1. It is not other creatures.
I do believe it does trigger itself. We'll have someone check on that.
We got a judge there.
Yeah,
Again,
we'll
brand
get
new
that
cards for everybody.
We'll make sure on that.
So we're figuring this all out.
Yeah.
He did. Well,
Sure. I think they're just checking that right now.
yep. Game has not progressed to a point where they can't fix it, and it looks like Rhys did lose 1 extra.
Yep.
Now, interestingly, if Mike had not shocked the Leonin,
Right?
if he had saved it and hit Rhys with it, that would have dealt an extra point of damage.
Right.
Because Goreclaw dealing damage to the Leonin only would have wasted 1 point of damage to kill it.
Mm-hmm. So he looks like he does play Lena now, just to make sure that he has enough blockers to deal with the army that Mike is building up.
Yeah, and he's losing creatures.
Yep.
So get it out there while he can to get the most soldiers.
Yep. So right now he's able to get. He should get 3 soldiers. Is that right?
That's what I'm looking at.
It
1
looks
for
like
each
it.
non-token that he has. It looks like Ben is taking a look at Lena to see if she counts herself, is my guess.
Yeah.
And she does, at least from what we're seeing.
So it would be non-token. So it'd be Lena herself. Yeah, total 3. It should be 3, I believe, soldiers.
All right. So it looks like we don't have enough soldier tokens. They are dipping into
We're dicing
dipping into my personal reserve. So
Sure.
is that the only devil in M19? Moonlight Shadow. Let me take a look through my spoiler real quick, and I will get back to you in just a moment.
I do believe it is the only devil in M19, but you can confirm for me, Andy, if you
Oh,
like.
I want to confirm because I've been
Alright.
wrong on enough things so far.
Sure.
This is an easy one to fix before I say something. So
So this is a really key turn for Mike. We have Rhys at 7. He has a couple of creatures, one notably with trample.
that is the only devil.
Yeah. We know he has Spitfire in hand, which will help take care of a creature. But Lena does have the ability to make all her friends indestructible, so we'll see what he does here.
So I think he targets Lena.
Yeah, with Spitfire, making him decide whether or not. Oh, was that Tectonic?
That was Tectonic Rift,
Sorry, that was
which destroys
Tectonic
a land and creatures without flying can't block.
Oh, yeah.
Which is enough to get both of those
Does
through for
get
10.
through, yeah. Yeah, looks like it. All right.
Interesting.
I like it. Looks like Mike was able to push through with his red-green Grill power deck.
Now, we talked about it once he played the Goblin Instigator.
Mhm.
The fact that he was able to give the Devils
Haste. Yeah.
is what ended that on that turn.
So what I've noticed in both these games is that Rhys seems kind of, while he has an amazing way to make his board incredibly clogged, he
Yeah.
doesn't seem to have a ton of removal. Or have I seen? I haven't seen any real removal cards.
All
from
we've
him.
really seen has been the Plummet
Yeah,
and Vivian.
Vivian. Yeah. So it's possible he might be light on removal in his white-green. White has 3 removal spells that are relevant, I think. One of them destroys a tap creature, and there's a couple others that are quite good.
And one of the things that I was noticing watching Mike's deck, he has the Siegebreaker Giant.
Yes.
Target creature can't block. Tectonic Reef. Creatures
Target
can't
can't
block.
block. Yeah.
He has, I believe he has one other one.
He also has hasty creatures and haste enablers.
Yep.
So there's a lot of lines of play where Mike just says, I'm coming in with everything. Show me something that you can do about it.
So Rhys, we've seen very good at creating a wall of creatures.
Yep.
To
in
block
Shadows over
everybody.
Innistrad, I used to call the white-green strategy the wall of meat, because you had oxen. You would have 2/4 oxen, and you just put them all there, and then try and get some flyer up there, and just hope, you know?
Yep.
So we'll see what happens for Game 3 of our first match here of Core 2019.
Yeah, this is Game 3. Winner takes it.
Winner takes all. It looks like, I'm guessing Rhys will take the play here.
And previously I'm not sure if we're doing a cut at the end. I believe we're just doing Swiss.
I think it's just Swiss for the pre-release, yeah. And so however people end up with their records is how we'll deal with pricing and all that good stuff.
But that's handled all outside outside our cave, and Gerard, our head judge, and Ben,
they'll sort it
our
out
floor
nicely.
judge, know all that stuff and have briefed it all to the players.
Yep. So it looks like we see Vivian and 2 lands available for Rhys.
Is that a dual land?
Yep, I see it.
Grove.
I see Invoke the Divine, Gift of Paradise to ramp,
Vine Mare,
the Gallant,
Cavalry,
the Gallant Cavalry, and Vine Mare. Okay, so he's looking for a 3rd land. The 3rd land will ramp him up to everything he needs with Gift of Paradise, and then the 4th land would get him to the Vivian. So he can play a lot of stuff in his hand. The key thing is the 3rd land. He has to
turn
find,
3. He
has to find the 3rd land, and he'll curve out nicely. It looks like Mike might be going to 6. Let's see what happens here.
Now we saw Rhys had to mulligan game 1.
Yep.
Ended up winning game 1.
That's right.
So mulligan doesn't feel good, but it's not always condemnation.
So it looks like Mike has something. He has 3 mountains,
2 green cards, and a dragon.
That is a very rough keep. We need to see a green source off the top.
Yeah. Now the good thing, Tectonic Rift. That won the game last game, but
I think
you don't
we
want
have
it now.
Yeah, I think we have to bottom that. Look for a green card because you have 2 cards in your hand that, if you're not able to cast, it's really hard to win this game.
No. The nice thing, the Giant Spider only needs 1 green.
Yeah. So
the other card, I'm pretty sure, was also only 1 green.
Mike decides, that we need to see a better mana source off the top. Yep. Rhys leads with a tap land, which helps with his fixing.
Again,
totally fine.
Can find those in your basic land slot.
Yep. Don't forget that they're there.
Yeah.
It'll be relevant later in draft and sealed. So on 2, I'm not sure if we saw Rhys pick up a 3rd land source, but we will find out by the next turn very quickly. So
Titanic Growth for Mike.
Mike plays a 2nd mountain.
And he drew a Titanic Growth.
Yep.
So another green spell is what he drew. Alright, there is a Plains.
Okay, so he did pick up the 3rd land.
Gift of Paradise incoming.
Yep, probably on a Plains. It's good too because the life gain is relevant for Rhys here.
Very relevant.
So he gains 3 as well on top of getting more colors and more mana on his Plains.
Now, Mike's Mare costs 2 red. Rhys's Mare, the Vine Mare, 2 green and 2 colorless for a 5/3 hexproof.
So it looks like Mike picked up another mountain. He's on 4 mountains and 2 red cards. His red cards, I believe, cost 4 and 5.
The Volcanic Dragon costs 6.
6, okay.
I'm not sure what the other one was. But Rhys right now can drop a 5/3 hexproof.
Wow, that's really rough because all of Mike's removal is very direct damage based.
Or he can play a Planeswalker on an empty board.
On an empty board. I might play the hexproof Mare first, because what that does is if he plays the Planeswalker next turn, he has a pretty much blocker that cannot be taken out.
Also, Vivian's Plus. I want to make sure I'm not getting it mixed up with the intro Planeswalker.
The Plus, I believe, is like the Oath of Nissa.
Plus was the digging.
Yeah.
The intro Planeswalker was the counters.
Yeah.
I had them mixed up.
So, yeah, the Plus on this one is kind of like you get to see 4 cards, but
so
you get
it's
to
useful
keep
with or without a creature.
Correct.
Okay.
She protects herself in the sense that she will be at 6 loyalty, just like Karn kind of protects herself. But having a 5/3 hexproof Mare in the way is sweet.
Yeah. Looked like he drew the Loxodon.
Yep. And Mike played his 4th mountain, which means he's definitely stuck on green. So it looks like right now is the turn he wants to play Vivian, now that he's had a hazard protected.
I would say Mike is stuck on red.
He's stuck on red, yeah.
As in, he's stuck at a light on red.
Yeah, that's right. I like that.
It's a big no. So Vivian plus and up, looking for a creature or land.
The big thing is it provides green with a type of card draw, which is what green just wants.
Green's almost getting better at drawing cards than blue.
They're getting closer, but blue is definitely the gold standard for drawing cards.
Should have said blue died.
Yeah, should have said Blue Die. Should have gone with the gut. Looks like Mike's gonna get smacked for 5 with this hexproof mare.
All right, come on, Force, Mike. Come on, not like this.
One time.
Off the top.
Oh, off the top. One time.
You
All
never
right.
didn't have it.
Right. All right. So Mike has options now. Let's see what he can play.
I would not recommend a flyer.
Probably not, given that Vivian is on the board, which also makes his dragon feel pretty bad.
Yep.
Luckily, it has haste, so somehow he has to figure out. Like, this is a type of game where you have to kill Vivian as opposed to attack your opponent's life total, right?
Looks like it.
Is that the Spitfire Dragon? The Spark Dragon or whatever?
That would be good.
Yeah, it's a 3/3 flyer.
3/3 flyer, so Vivian can drop it, but if she doesn't, it's enough to kill the Nightmare.
Right. And if she does kill it and Mike picks up another land,
the dragon
he can
kill
haste
Vivian.
in and take Vivian. So I'm not opposed to this line of play at all. So
looks like Vivian down.
Vivian down. So Mike actually has to draw a land off the top for this to be a line of play that worked out well for him. He has a shock, which will let Vivian get down to 1. But we really want to... So he brings the cavalry, gets a knight. We really want to see a land off the top for Mike here.
Yeah. That Vine Mare has been...
Yeah, the problem is, even
insane.
after taking out Vivian, he's representing 9 damage on the board to 11 health Mike.
Well, Mike's at 10. It looks like they're just having some issues getting the health right, but he's taking 2 hits from the Vine Mare.
Okay, so he'll be at 10, but there's 9 on the board next turn, right? Even if he hastes in and takes out Vivian?
Yep, 9 on the board right now.
So that would
So
take
life
him to
totals,
1.
they're working on that. Jake's on top of it.
Moonlight Shadow. I want to make a horsey deck. Andy wants to make a horsey deck. I think we want to make different horsey decks with the same horsies. But yeah, I'm all on board with the horsey decks.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. It looks like he's playing the. Oh, he did not pick up a land, so he's picking up the Celestial Steed. Is that what it is?
I even have my Ponyta Pokemon custom token.
You and Mike
ready
should get
for it.
together. This is kind of rough because Mike actually might be forced to block here, even if he wants to use the ramp ability to bring out his dragon.
Well, he has to respect some sort of combat trick.
Yeah.
Rhys is on green. Mike is holding a Titanic
And on
Growth,
white,
so he
'cause
knows
we
that's
saw-
out there. Ooh.
So, because we also saw Inspired Charge in a previous match as well. So,
I'm looking at Mike's mana. He tapped his forest while he's holding Titanic Growth.
yep.
So that's no longer an option. All he has is shock that he can play. Looks like Lena
Yep. Making all the 1/1s.
makes 3 soldiers,
Yep.
which is what he got out of it last time. That might be about where Lena falls in
3.
during this format.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Seems like the right rate. Actually, even with 2, I think you're good.
Yeah.
Anything less than 2 is not really worth it for 6. 2 is okay, 3 is great. He's going to plus, taking a look at his deck through Vivian, find out if there are any more threats that he can deal with.
Inspired Charge.
Yep. Oh, is that Resplendent
Looks
Angel?
like an angel.
That's the big angel, huh? Resplendent Angel. One of the bombier bombs of the set. I believe it's a 4/4 flyer.
3/3 flyer for 3 at the beginning of each end step. If you gain 5 or more life, create a 4/4 white angel token.
But her ability is,
6 mana until end of turn. She gets +2/+2 in lifelink.
which activates her own ability.
All right.
Yeah.
Self-contained combo.
Yep. It's an incredibly powerful card. I think probably the best card in white for limited. If anybody else was wondering about tier lists and rankings, I solidly have this as 1 or 2 in white. The only other competitor is the Ajani Planeswalker, which
Johnny's
is
pretty
spectacular.
strong,
Yeah. So it looks like Mike tries to shock the horse that has hexproof. Wait, I don't
Ben-
believe he can do
Ben
that
should be on that one.
because the horse has hexproof, so Mike can't target it.
Now, Cataclysm Elemental is only a 2/2, so it wouldn't be enough to kill it. So
Yep.
now, with trying to shock a hexproof,
And it looks like Mike
he would
extends the hand.
he cast a spell, so he would have had to pick a different target.
Yep.
as Divine Mare wasn't a legal target. But
So, like, yeah.
he saw the writing on the wall.
He got
That's a
very
big boy.
wide, yeah. It's a little rough.
The hard thing is when you have answers in hand and you just can't do it.
Yep.